I am excited today. So today we are here with a fellow Iron Gate car condo owner, Rick. He has arguably as good a collection as mine, maybe better, maybe, I don't know. Him and I think are silently competing for who has the best collection of this community. But I thought I was gonna be driving an F40. I drove it in the past and that thing was badass. He was gracious enough to let me drive it. And then I found out that today I'm actually driving the Carrera GT, which I am far more pumped for. Wasn't sure he was gonna let that happen. Yeah, let's go, bro. Let's go. I can see it right there. We're gonna go say hi to Rick, and I know I've heard that these things are finicky, they're squirrely, so I know he's gonna have to give me a little bit of heads up on kind of what I need to do, and I'm sure there's some tricks that I need to learn about this. So I am super pumped to go drive this thing, and I can't wait.
For sure, I'm hoping that after he drives it, he has to buy one. My hands are tied.
I'm wearing a winter jacket with shorts.
It's not a winter,
Yes.
This is a spring jacket. Big
It's
difference.
60 degrees out right now, Thomas.
Yes, it's
His
shorts
hair on his
weather.
legs is keeping
Yes.
me warm.
Yeah, I have the built-in.
How you doing? I'm doing all right.
How's it going? Good seeing you.
So hello. So we're doing a casual swap today. You're gonna drive the Bugatti, right?
Yep.
Amazing. Rick's gonna end up having a Bugatti within the next 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
after. I am getting the awesome opportunity to drive the Carrera GT. These things have skyrocketed in value. They were $350-something thousand at one point many years ago. Now they are well over $2 million. Tell us about this engine,
Oh
buddy.
man.
Take it away, Tommy.
It's a 6-speed manual V10. I mean, there's not much to say. I believe that this car was made for a race that discontinued, I think you were saying,
Yeah,
Rick?
the engine was developed for an F1,
Yeah.
and then the series got discontinued. So they had an engine they didn't know what to do with.
And they just casually made one of the greatest driving cars of all time.
There you go.
Tommy thinks it's number 2 to the F1, right?
It's up there for me. It's, to me, yeah, McLaren F1.
Is this your end-all be-all, like any other car?
It's definitely top 10, which is about 100 cars. No, in reality, this is top 3 all time for me. It's McLaren F1, this, and then, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's the Valkyrie. It doesn't exist yet. Who knows?
You mind if we open up and check out what the engine looks like?
Let's check
Awesome.
it out. So again, a V10,
Yep.
developed for an F1 series that was discontinued, and they put it in here.
Reminds me, just looking at the back of this reminds me most of the Bugatti because it's just kind of wide open like the Bugatti. A lot of the vehicles, it's jammed, there's very little space, but you can see a lot of suspension components. You can see a good portion of the engine, and that's just kind of what it feels like when you open up the back of the Wyra, right? Speaking of Wyra, speaking of the Wyra, we will be at the Triple F Car Show June 5th, and Rick is actually going to bring some of his cars, one of which is the Wyra I just talked about. This is his spec. It is a full blue carbon with a super neat interior. I never liked my interior. It looks a little too kind of denim country, but this interior looks pretty incredible. So check out this, our cars, and many more of Rick's cars. Again, he has probably the best, one of the best. Him and I was saying, you and I go head to head with our collection. Like, you get a new car, it balances out, I get a new one. So it's good competitive spirit that keeps us buying awesome cars.
I think you're winning that race.
It's close. It's close.
Give it a couple weeks. After he drives the Bugatti.
I know, right? But I got another special car coming. You know what I'm saying? You beat me to a lot of these cars. You had the Ford GT.
I'm older than you.
You had the Countach. Yeah, I guess. The Countach you got rid of. You should have held on to that one a little longer. They're $550,000, $600,000. Ford GT was. I actually go to Rick for advice on hypercars because he's had a lot of them. When I was looking to get the 918, he had a Carrera GT in 918 and the Ford GT, and I'm like, what is kind of the most thrilling of all three? And obviously he likes them enough to have all three of them, right? But I think he leaned towards the 918, and that's ultimately what guided my decision to get the 918 was this guy right here. He's got some more old school. We're working on getting some old school stuff. Stand by for that. Wait, what happened? You blew it?
Yep, took it out for a spin, and poof.
You need that. This is such a cool car.
I'm telling you, Steve, you would love this car. It's a go-kart on steroids.
I'm definitely getting into more of the 80s retro, even 70s. Like, we're gonna get a bunch more crazy builds, like SEMA quality, awesome builds from the early 70s. We're gonna wide body an E28 M5. We're gonna wide body a Testarossa. I'm just trying to find one. Like, we've got some bad stuff coming that sets me apart, in my opinion, from the typical hypercar owner. We'll go through those builds and we'll show you guys them. But I am honestly almost most excited for that stuff. It'll be super unique. A few more of his cars that he parked outside, the Ferrari F40 that I did drive, and I honestly think that I'll end up having one of these at some point. You know, money doesn't grow on trees, so if I had all the money in the world, I would probably have more cars than I even have now. He also has the P1. I beat you to the P1 though.
You're the inspiration for a while.
All right. Yeah,
we equally bad influences on each other.
Yeah. Last time we did the car swap, I didn't end up with the F40, but each of us kind of ended up with the new car after. He got the P1 after driving my P1, and then I ended up getting the Wyra actually shortly after. I like your color better than mine. I'm just gonna say it. Like, I wanted an orange one, so
This is a nice spec too. Like, everything about this car is really clean. And also, I love the Special. I would take this over your 48. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful
I
car.
agree with you.
Naturally aspirated, like.
Yeah, and I don't say it because it's mine. I just like the naturally aspirated.
Yeah.
I'll trade you straight up. Mine smokes slightly and spits oil out of the tailpipes.
Yeah, a couple things that I noted on Rick's P1 versus Steve's is the McLaren badge in front actually reads McLaren. It's not just the swoosh. On these center caps are also P1, but it's a little different. He has the P1 in the headrest. This little pillar here, the air intake is carbon. Steve's is black on his car. And then my favorite standalone feature is the two-tone wing. So it's, I believe this is McLaren orange, correct? Yeah. It's not Pie Spark. So McLaren orange on top with the carbon fiber on the bottom. Super, super tasteful option. There's also the 12 o'clock marker on the steering wheel is really cool.
His is both a better color and has more options.
Correct.
Got it.
Yep. But I still love Steve's P1 equally. I'm not.
He's saying, Steve, do better. You know what? I owe it to everybody to do better next time.
You do.
Can we just agree that this interior was like ahead of its time for a driver's car?
Dude, this thing is super cool. And when you hop into the seatbelt comes on over you without you grabbing it, it like has an automatic seatbelt, which I think is like really funny.
This thing is so cool.
I barely fit in this car. I remember. And then so another cool thing, so the door release is that rope right there in the door sill. You pull on that to open the door. It's so random. I've ridden this car once. Rick took me for a spin and still so grateful because this thing is really special. It's a little bit too small for me. I think Steve could fit the Shouty, but we'll get one someday. This is a good car that will absolutely have to in the collection because it's a legend, man.
Would you rather have this car in red or would you rather have it in black or white
I think the F40 belongs in red.
I agree.
But if I was doing a LaFerrari, I think triple black would be super cool. Just murdered out.
Triple black LaFerrari would be pretty sick.
It would be sick. Maybe.
So Rick just showed me this. Check this out. An exact model of Steve's P1. Isn't that sick?
Wait, I think we have one.
He has an exact model. He even has
Oh,
he has a baby little Countach, white on white.
Super cute. We should get Steve's entire fleet. Just have it in like a conference room.
Let's do it.
And the new everything he owns.
I'm being serious.
Let's do it. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
you can buy it and source those.
I'll buy it, and then yeah, I'll source them, and then when I quit, I'm taking all of them with me. When I quit, I'm gonna get fired before I quit. That right there is what I'm talking about. That's what we need in the new warehouse.
We need to do that with an F1.
If that's not a flex, I don't know what
We need
is.
to do that with an F1.
Let's do it. I'm down. That's a flex. We can put the tally out there, which is being bad too. Just lock her in there.
Just lock her in the race car.
Good news, Steve's on the phone, wheeling and dealing for a new hypercar. By the time you guys see this, he'll probably already have it here, so Lawrence, blur out my lips, but Steve just got a... I am so excited. It's about time. Speaking of hypercars, this right here is one of Rick's, and it was previously owned by Alejandro Salman. This car was featured on Alejandro's channel for a long time, and it's cool being able to see it in person. The chocolate brown interior, super unique.
And
this is
what, one of two in the Weissach package?
one of two acid green 918s with Weissach package in the world.
Add more perspective. This is what you wanted on ours, was the exposed carbon.
Yeah, I think if Steve's car was solid gray black with the exposed carbon Weissach package, money.
I agree. Like, it looks so good against like the paint, and I feel like
It does.
ours is that gray black, so it would like flow.
It would make it look low key and super stealthy and cool. The reds, and Steve loves the red, and that's all that matters. If Steve's happy, I'm happy. Are you happy when I spend millions of your dollars on cars for you?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, for you. Boom. See that?
My wife is like this modest person that literally is happy with the Jeep Wrangler, Old Navy clothes, and then you take the wife spending.
Caroline, you're welcome. I'm doing your job for you.
All right, so we're about to go take a drive in the Carrera GT. Rick is going to go over one thing that seems to really confuse and upset drivers, and it's just what makes this thing difficult is these things are notorious for stalling out if not driven properly. So how do you get these things going without a problem? How is it different from every other vehicle out there?
Okay, so from first, sitting at a standstill and then going into first, you just let the clutch out slowly. No gas. That's it. It just starts rolling.
So clutch fully out before you start gassing. Typical, obviously you start gassing kind of as you release clutch. This one, just slowly let out the clutch, get it moving, and then don't go too crazy on the gas after that. Got it. I am super pumped.
If I'm not mistaken, I think these clutches are about $30,000.
Yeah, not cheap.
So, Steve?
Are they really?
No pressure.
Yes.
No, we're good. I'm not worried about it.
A Lotus Elise. No big deal.
Rick is going to go drive my Chiron. We're going to see what he thinks about it afterwards. I think it's the best hypercar of the entire collection, so he's going to end up owning one in a few weeks. Just watch. And then,
I wanted to ask really quick. So, with all the cars that you own, are you excited to drive the Bugatti? Are you have butterflies?
No doubt.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fun. I like that. I'm like I have butterflies that I'm gonna be in one of these today. I'm super, super excited. These are amazing cars.
I am not going to stall this. I will not stall this. My promise. All right, well, let's get started. All right, bro. Contain your pee-pee. That reminded me of the 918.
Yeah.
Just kind of the way it sounds, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm in neutral. I'm going to let off the clutch now just because.
Yeah, get a feel for it.
Nervous tick. There we go.
Yeah, put the wing out.
Yeah. Oh. Whoa, dude, that goes
so
way
cool.
Up. All right, have I not seen these with the wing?
That's what I'm saying, dude. These are badass.
Oh, a good wing will change my mind about a car. The P1 with the wing down looks good. The P1 with the wing up looks amazing. Huge difference. All right, no gas. I'm gonna go like ridiculously slow so that I don't embarrass myself.
That's what he said.
Basic K. Basic K. Where's my $1,000?
Got the handbrake off?
Yeah, thank you for asking. It's good. Natalia would have stalled the shiz out of this thing, drove into some grass. I can see how it would stall if you're stopped, because that's just weird. It's weird not driving my own car. Like, I actually have to take care of this, and I'm not gonna go be stupid in someone else's car. Like, I'm gonna see what it's got, but
yeah, welcome to my life.
Yeah, I heard that. So it's definitely a track-oriented car. Steering is very heavy, very tight, very responsive to handling. Not built for comfort. This thing is built for agility and handling. I would say that it is a little cooler than I thought so far. I would really like to figure out I'm sure there's a point when you can gas when you start, unless it legit just stalls half the time. My guess is it's just really hard to learn where that friction point is and when you need to gas. I'm not impressed with the brakes. I think the Bugatti ruined me for everything. Like,
yeah, those brakes, but
brakes are like a 5 out of 10.
They're $125,000. The Bugatti brakes.
There's nothing even close to the braking of the Bugatti.
No.
First time in 6th gear, there we go. Now I see why Rick wants me up front. I'll be the one to get the ticket.
Ah, yes. It feels exactly how I thought it would feel, the driving experience.
Yeah, it's really something.
I hope the market settles down, because I know. After knowing that these were $800,000 for so long, it'd be hard to pay triple that. I love how analog everything is. It's just,
oh yeah,
you're not messing around.
This was kind of
That's why it's
screens anyway, right?
Exactly. That's why it's special. It's like this is what you got back then. All right, don't stall it now. I know. Just lean forward.
I'm serious.
Oh really?
Yes.
All right, bet. What's up, guys?
I gave that like a smidge of gas. I'm not even kidding. And it started to pop.
I saw that.
Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
Like, to me, that's a deal breaker.
That's what this car's all about. Like, that's just what that's what you have to do.
So do you have to dump the clutch then? Like, is it you got to go full ham, rev it up, dump the clutch?
I don't know.
Or you got to baby it. There's no in between. Like, that is a deal breaker to me. This is where that gets a little more dangerous, right?
Are you log in front?
It was pretty amazing.
You get more acclimated to it the more you drive it. You don't want to stall.
Yes.
But you let it out, you get the timing of it, you get a feel for it.
I did it 3 times when we pulled back into this community. I'm like, I want to test a little bit more. The 3rd time, you can go quick to the friction point, right? So,
yes.
but then it still gave it like 2 more seconds from there, and it's still almost stalled. I'm like, you don't have it where you can just get it moving in a second, do you? Fully.
I'm not quite that good, but you see guys do that. I see guys spin the rubber on it, so they've got it where they're letting the clutch out and going.
To me, it feels like you have to like either fully dump the clutch or you got to sit there for 3 seconds. I don't think there's an in between.
Well, but if you do it too quick, then you're just going to stall too.
So I was going on to 47. My clutch was probably 90% release. I give it 3% gas just to get it moving, and it starts to die. I'm like, you got to be like, oh, I did. Yeah, I didn't stall. I didn't stall it once. I had to, and then I started again.
That's the only part of this car that's tricky. Like once you get acclimated to that, you're good.
The driving experience is badass. Like, it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I took my hands off of it 120 miles an hour. Don't tell Rick. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just like sitting there.
Tell you what I did with yours.
Oh, good. Oh, I saw you. I saw you, man. I think he got sick of my driving, and I see him weave out in front of me. By the way, are you not sold on one of those?
Oh,
like,
man, that thing is so quick. It's so powerful.
it feels going 100
It's smooth. It's so smooth.
Going 140, 50 miles an hour feels like nothing.
Like
in
you're
that.
just going 40.
Like nothing. So that's a dangerous car because of
Yeah.
that, but it's also the brakes, by the way. There is no car that brakes better than that. It's crazy.
I experienced it.
It's crazy. But driving experience on this is awesome. Street presence. I see the spoiler up now. I feel like you never see this thing pictured with the spoiler fully erect. It looks cooler in person, but I still feel like it looks like a stretched out Boxster. Like, it doesn't have the curb appeal. Driving way better. Now, I was telling Tommy in the car, like, he would literally say, get a Carrera GT. I'm like, I just don't like the way it looks. Now I'll be like, it drives badass. However, that first gear, that's a deal breaker though.
Yeah.
Like, even getting acclimated, if it took 2 seconds, 3 seconds just to get it
You want to
moving,
go.
I have to.
Yeah.
That's why I complained to you about the 1/10 of a second shift lag in that
guys
thing.
on YouTube, I'm saying that where
They
they
know.
are burn spinning the rubber on going from a dead standstill.
Yeah.
So.
But that's probably the thing. They have to dump the clutch. Like, it's either burn spin the rubber or wait until you're fully off the clutch before you gas. So to me, that's a deal breaker because I daily drive my cars. Like and even in that intersection going left onto Ferry, I'm like, well, I know it's going to take me 3-4 seconds, so I need a much bigger gap in traffic. So that's rough.
I think that's something that you might get used to too. Like, Rick, do you feel that way?
It's your first time.
I
So
know,
it's just natural you're going to feel that way. And yes, I went through all the same stuff until you get acclimated to it and you get more of a feel.
It's also someone else's car, so if it was mine, I would have sat here 8 times, really testing like the fastest I could do that. But I'm not going to sit here and burn up his clutch. So I just got to buy one. I just got to buy one.
Sit in your car and look at this thing. It's the first time I've actually seen someone driving it, and it's.
That's what I said about.
It looks super cool, and you're like.
You weren't joking about being smooth too. The way all the way through the power range, it is so smooth.
Incredible. And I got to get on it when we got on Ferry. I got to accelerate quick and like no rear end squirreliness. Like, again, that's what everyone says, and I know it was like a tire issue and probably just people not driving. But
tire
like
and suspension. They've got a replacement for the suspensions on them.
Gotcha. Did you do that too?
Haven't done it yet.
Oh well. When I hit it, it stayed straight. It didn't get squirrely in the slightest bit, and it's not super high.
I know my buddy's got one. He swears it's like night and day with the new suspension.
Next up, special car coming.
Swap the 488 for the Special, just for one afternoon, and then you could get a feel for that, and then you'll be like, all right, this is a cool car, and get one.
Maybe.
Do it if you want to do it.
Ford GT, I haven't. That's one of the only hypercars that I haven't driven, so we'll do that next time. Rick is out driving the Bugatti Chiron. You know, I decided to go ahead and let him take a few more spins in it with a friend. I guarantee you he's going to end up getting one. I thoroughly enjoyed the Carrera GT. I still think it's a no-go because of the first gear thing. Like, I just don't think that's a car I'll own. But I'm going to get lots of more fun cars. Stay tuned. You will see all kinds of fun, stupid, crazy stuff that we do. Thanks, everybody.